chronic shoulder achers. This is internet personality Vangelus. I'm coming off an extremely throat-sick week and a half, and one of the precursors to Corpse Pack number 2 was Deluxe Class Transformers Generation Studio Series 1986, Brawn, who was also a bit of a precursor to Legacy Gears in how he brought a combo of stocky shortness and satisfying transformation to his price point, a statement that is itself a precursor to the very review you are about to watch. You're still watching, right? Hello? I'm doing this with a sore throat! Come back! Studio Series 1986 Brawn has a great, short and stocky silhouette, easily evoking your memories of his short-statured super strength from the original cartoon, or his doomed charge into destruction in Transformers the movie. The colors are Brawn colors, the head is a domish Brawn head, and this is the part where I pivot to say that this toy actually deviates from the animation model pretty hard, all over the place, and that may be why I never talked about his feet. Perverts. Obviously, many visual anchors accurately remain, like the various shapes on Brawn's chest, but his crotch is way different. This Brawn has implied micro-shorts due to the shared yellow color on his hip blocks. And not only does he bashfully hide his upper thighs, if one were to imagine that they were dark green, but his legs just become a nigh-original design from the knees down. Not a bad one, but clearly nowhere near the sloped stompers of the cartoon model. A cartoon model, by the way, who often had a notably larger proportioned head than this action figure. Is this a failure? Not really, in my opinion. I think this toy still looks really damn solid in robot mode. It's just interesting how much of a prior era Generations piece this resembles, even though it also smooths its feature set down just enough to only have bonus 5mm ports available on the bottoms of the heels and the backpack, without a 3mm circle of any sort in sight. By the way, those holes, or the matching ones in Brawn's fists, can make use of his little laser gun. It's adorably unremarkable, just a little pew-pew stick with a peg on the bottom, like something I drew in a margin scribble during a boring grade 2 math class. You can also unplug and deploy Brawn's spare tire, which bears both a peg and a port of the 5mm variety, but that seems to be mostly happenstance, with a side of frisbee. Brawn's head makes his neck swivel sometimes a little bit difficult to get a grip on, but don't worry, hidden feature. Just do that. Now you can grab his head from any direction, get your fingers all over it, and just twist it to your heart's content and put it back. Hooray! Or just try to wedge some thumb meat into his helmet jowls. The shoulders are simple ball sockets with a big cut for a big T, so he can use his elbow joint for a big hook. Despite being a single hinge, the elbow bends pretty dang deep, and there is a functional bicep swivel. No wrist swivels, but there's a transformation joint that lets him do that, so he can be all like, sup. It's also a big old waist swivel, which happens to be partly for transformation. There are pins there in his hips, because he can kick forward, which doesn't have anything to do with the pins. He can kick back a little bit. You can move this out of the way if you really want to do something like this. And then those pins let him go big ol' H style. Wow! There's a thigh rotation. There is a single hinge knee that does not go as deep as the single hinged elbow, sadly. The feet have got 2 foldy bits for transformation. Sort of helpful if you can push the heel down a little bit if you're getting into some poses like that. And there's an ankle tilt with just a big old gap in there. And then, big hidden feature, you can do this and go for some toy style Brawn. Like, check that out. We got the tall Brawn, we got slender Brawn, we got slim Brawn. Now, can he actually stand like this? Hypothetically. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there he's standing like that. Look, I'm not touching him. He's staying completely upright. If I wave some air at him, nothing happens, but then if I poke him, he falls over. He's not meant to stand like this. This is not actually an Easter egg. it's happenstance. It's tall Brawn. Look, when you look at the toy version, this will make more sense. Anyway, he's pretty darn decent articulation-wise. I kind of wish that knee bent a little bit deeper. That's really about it. Pretty fun guy. He can throw hooks and do some dance moves. Brawn's transformation scheme is among my favorites of the 2020's Autobot Minibot Reduxes, supplanted slightly by that of Gears, but only slightly. I mean, that front grille rotation reveal is pretty slick, yeah? One of the key notes for me is how badly this conversion process could have gone, and I do mean that as a full-chested, non-derogatory. Clearances are tight, order of operations matters, and were it not for a small abundance of solid tab slot connections throughout the vehicle mode, everything could have ended up much more squishy and jangly in hand. That said, on my copy, all those tactile hand feel needs are met for the most part, and Brawn buttons up into a rock-solid and compact little brick on wheels in a manner I find quite satisfying. Truly, one of the biggest points of contention I can cite on Brawn's vehicle mode is that the windshields are kinda bright. But also, the windshields are kinda bright. I am an enjoyer of this truck form and its sky blue animation style glass panes, though the rear side one is notably missing a paint app to complete the effect. There is a big splash of silver paint on the grille with a thin sliver of yellow to touch up the bumper, and overall I think that truck-style Brawn hits nearly all of his marks. And yes, you can pop the gun up top for some turret action. Swivel, swivel, pew, pew. However, the premier bummer of this mode is when you lift it up to check the underside. It's less about the visible head, because whatever, it's buried in a cavity regardless. It's more about the little scuff on Brawn's yellow-painted chest, which rides catastrophically low to the ground in this mode. Obviously, the wheels still roll freely, so it isn't dragging in perpetuity, but all it takes is the barest of bumps in the road to put the poor guy's torso paint at risk. I don't know, I guess I wish the tires were bigger or something. I don't wish Brawn himself was any bigger, as I have been gleefully recurring him in modern Minibot group shots all year for a reason. That reason being, I think he's a great entry into this subsumed microline of Autobot short stacks. I often equate Studio Series Brawn to Legacy Gears because they both feel like leaders of the group right now, nailing both of their modes with solid play value and great transformation designs. And yes, I also tend to think of them as the main two Walmart retro releases. Seeing them the most often has carved them into my short-term memory to some degree. I can't even complain about a lack of choice, as you can pick up this figure in both Corpse and Retro Toy variants, with an Outback retool on its way soon. Non-F even did up some toyetic claw hands. It's just a good era for being a Brawn. Well, not for the Corpse ones, but you get my point. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and I want to extend a particularly anti-viral thanks to my supporters on Patreon, YouTube membership, and Ko-fi. Your kindness gave me some peace of mind as I spent just over a week violently expectorating.